Hey everyone, welcome to the show. People don't like introductions because it's YouTube and they have short expectations. That's the word I was looking for. So we're gonna get right into the show. Hey Wheeze.
Yeah.
What have you been watching this week?
I watched a bunch of anime and I watched Hell's Paradise, which is surprisingly good. I've watched the Konosuba spinoff, which is hilarious.
I wanted to talk to you about Hell's Paradise.
Yeah.
I think it's almost the next Dororo.
It is kind of like that.
Or not Dororo. Is it Dororo?
Dororo?
Not Dororo. Dororo.
Yeah. It is kind of like Dororo.
Eh.
It's got a similar
You never
vibe
seen
to
that
it.
show? Oh yeah, you didn't join the podcast when we were watching that. So
It's the one where the guy gets like all of his body parts like taken by demons and he has to hunt them down.
And he has to go like kill the demons and monsters, and like each time he does, he reclaims a part.
Yeah, I was gonna watch it and then I forgot it existed.
Yeah, it's on
based off-
Amazon. It's great.
It's based off a story from like the 20s or something. It's like really
Yeah.
old.
Huh.
There's a old 1960s anime version of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Pretty
so-
wild. Yeah, it is kind
Anyways.
of like that. It's got a similar vibe.
Yeah, but you were saying you had the new Konosuba spinoff.
Konosuba spinoff is really funny. I've also watched Mashal and the first episode of Demon Slayer, and that's all the stuff
Cool.
I watched.
just
this
first
season.
episode ever of entirety of Demon Slayer.
No, the first episode of season 3 of Demon Slayer, the
There-
Swordsmith Village arc.
There you go.
Yeah,
I just realized we're gonna be stuck in that Swordsmith village this whole season.
I realized that too. I was
Dear
like,
Lord.
I was like, not much is happening.
what? Like we were talking about this earlier, and Boom was like, "I hate it." Okay, what's going on? What? Like,
Okay,
I haven't
we
watched.
can
I
talk-
haven't watched Demon Slayer.
Why
since
don't
the
we
first
go
movie.
into that after we do our introduction thing? So, what do you got to talk about?
Well, I finished Inspector season 2,
Nice.
and I started watching a show called Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
Okay, cool.
It's a steampunk zombie apocalypse show.
That sounds epic, actually.
So far, it's been pretty good. So the characters are kind of in that point of like, I don't know who I like and who I don't like because I've only watched like an episode and a half.
Right.
But
Okay, cool.
I've been liking it. It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got to talk about all the things that Weez was talking about, except for God's blessing on this
Konosuba.
magical explosion, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The Konosuba spinoff.
Mhm.
But I also had to add the Oshinoko. Oshinokoi?
Yes. Oshinoko.
Oshinoko, the idol slice of life comedy murder mystery anime that came
People
out.
have been talking about it like crazy. And
Yeah, it's
hyping
like the
it up.
second coming of Christ for like, I don't know, anime fans apparently. But anyways, I gotta talk about that because I have some pretty good comments on why people are freaking out about it.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's what we're gonna talk about. If you guys want to listen to the show, hopefully you do. Here we go. Wheeze,
Hell's Paradise.
you want to talk about that first?
It's pretty good. It's probably my I think Konosuba is overall the best thing that's coming out right now. I really like Konosuba. It's really funny.
You know what's funny? I can show you the spot in the previous episode when we were talking about what we were gonna watch. You're like, I'm not excited for it.
I wasn't expecting it to be that great, but it's really good. It's still Konosuba. It's
Okay.
got the same charm, the same like quality writing and comedy, and just it's okay. I kind of forgot what the deal was with the Demon Village too, because
Yeah.
it's so I guess I'm talking about Konosuba now. The Demon Village that's that Megumin is a part of
The red-eyed demon,
was
whatever they're
like
called.
the one otaku guy that just wanted to make like really over the top, like cheesy, like insane people.
Yeah,
So
the first guy that got reincarnated
Yeah.
to that world, like, found that. Didn't he have the power where he just could create things?
yeah, I think he had some ability from when he got reincarnated there. But anyways, the whole village, everyone talks in this ridiculous manner, and
Yeah.
Megumin is like talking. She gets her cat in the second episode, and she's talking to her sister, and her sister's just like, I have felled the great beast, and they're just like going on with this over the top ridiculous dialogue back and forth, and Megumin ends up just like adopting the cat and then brings it to school, and they're like, you can't have a cat, and she's like, this is my familiar, it's part of my soul, if you break it off from me we'll both die, or something. And it's just the over the top ridiculous.
That's reminding me
humor.
that her entire village is just full of otakus.
Yeah.
That's just the Chinabu.
Yeah.
Basically, just a bunch of Chinabu people.
The,
That's why she wears the the eye patch.
In
And
the
stuff
first
like that.
episode, they're like, "What is the most important thing about being I forget what they're called, the like demon something, they're crimson demons or whatever."
Yeah.
He's like, "What's the most important part of being a crimson demon?" It's like honor and fighting. It's like, no, it's like this. It's like, no, it is the epic way that you present yourself before your fight.
Right.
And he just starts like spinning around and doing this whole like routine, and it's just like, now practice this with your partners. And
That's great.
So like Megumin's whole like thing that she always does before doing an explosion, where she just like has this whole spiel about her powers or
Right.
whatever, is just because of that village.
That's amazing.
So the
I
whole
wanna watch
village
this
is like
show
that.
now.
It's really funny. It doesn't get old either. The characters are really good. Like a lot of the side characters and Yoon and everything, and just yeah, it's pretty great.
Cool. There's 3 episodes out now?
Only 2, I think,
Okay.
so far, but there'll probably be third one should be out.
I'll
soon.
watch it this weekend, and
Yeah.
hopefully you are telling the truth. And
It's
not
great.
Lying.
It is like if you liked Konosuba, it's the same vibe, the same kind of comedy, the same like everything.
He's
Right.
riddled with lies.
He tells
The
nothing
problem
but
is
lies.
there's a lot of spin-offs that kind of suck or are just like a story that it's hard to care about, you know? It's just like
Yeah, it's like either it's really good, like what you're describing now, or it's like, why did they tell this story?
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to tell the story.
because sometimes it's like if they did a Death Note spin-off about like L by himself. Like the most interesting thing of Death Note is both of the main characters fighting against each other.
Right.
So if you'd like take the thing people like about it, remove an aspect, the main aspect that people like about it, and then try to tell a story, it's kind of hard to get into it. But Konosuba still has the same vibe and everything from the spin-off to the regular show. So
The regular show, that's a heck of a spinoff.
Hey, it's very anime inspired. They have a whole Evangelion episode, if I'm not mistaken.
anyways, Hell's Paradise starts out, and I thought it was gonna, at first it gave off heavy isekai protagonist, edgelord, I can't die and I want to die, like vibes, you know?
That's what
Like,
it felt
I
like.
hate that it's used so often. But then it turns into actually like understanding his character, where he's like really conflicted and he's like struggling with how he thinks of himself and what his actual like motivations are. It's actually pretty good, and he's a good character.
I have a pretty, I don't know if it's like what people consider a hot take or not, but like this guy is like by far one of my favorite anime protagonists now. Like he actually has a mission in life
Yeah.
that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
He wants to just go back to his wife and retire.
Yeah. And he also like struggles with growing up as only ever being like an assassin.
Yeah.
And then having something like he doesn't know how to act like a normal person. So him like going through, I have to kill, I don't really want to, but I have to kill to survive. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get out of this situation.
His name's Gabimaru,
Yeah.
the hollow, hollow?
The hollow. Yeah. Because
The
he's like
hollow.
a hollow person.
Gabimaru the hollow. Yeah, he's
has
just
no.
to explain it to
emotions.
Ramen Cat, because you're going to be the antidote for the audience. Basically, this guy's comes from a clan of ninjas. He's a ninja. They can use things called like ninjutsu and stuff. So, like in the first episode, I don't think it's a spoiler if I say this, right?
No, it's
Okay.
fine. It's the first episode.
He literally lights himself on fire. But like the first part of the episode is like them trying to do all these executions to him. So like they do beheading. He breaks the sword. They light him on fire. He walks out of the fire. They try pulling him apart with bowls. He makes the bowls tired. They try poisoning him?
Obviously, they didn't watch the YouTube video "How to Kill a Ninja."
Obviously
You gotta
not.
paint all the pigeons thoroughly and like use the gelatinous laser to fill up the box.
But throughout the entire first episode, he's talking to himself like inner monologue type of thing. He's like, I want to die, but why can't I die? Like, why am I holding back? Like, what's not let me die? And then there's this samurai Ronin executioner lady that's like witnessing him getting executed. And she kind of does like this psychology stuff. Like she kind of like psychology, like analyzes him and stuff. She's like, well, I think you just kind of miss your wife, don't you? And at that moment, he's like, I do. I love my wife.
And it was partially showing the backstory of him and his wife, because he got his wife from the like
The head
ninja,
assassin guy.
assassin clan that he was part of, and then she was more like peaceful and understanding, and was like trying to encourage him to live like more normal life. And then the ending of the backstory reveals that the reason he was like kicked out of the clan and captured by like the shogunate like clan or whatever, was because he had asked to leave and just have a peaceful life with his wife, and then they kicked him out and like, you know, got him arrested and stuff.
Well,
he got
I
betrayed.
guess the whole thing is like, if you try leaving the village, you die.
Yeah.
You're gonna get killed because nobody can leave that village, because I guess like the clan leader's like immortal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, he tried leaving with his wife, and then he got depressed, wanted to die, figures out he doesn't want to die, and now he wants to get back to his wife. The only way he can do that now is the Emperor of Japan, his cast of people, like people that are in his circle, figure out that there's this flower, the elixir of life, and he wants it, but it's on this far off eastern island. So he gathers all the most dangerous criminals, all the people set on death row. He promises them a pardon if they go and bring back the elixir of life. So now they're on this island. And mind you, the only reason they figured out this was existed is because there's explorers that came back. They came back dead, but they came back like just covered in like flowers.
Like their body became like
Like
plant
a flower
matter.
garden.
Yeah. So there's some weird like curse kind of creepy,
Which is why they're sending just the expendable people. The people they think that can get the flower because they're dangerous, but people that they don't care that will die.
yeah.
First, the Emperor sends people and goes and kills the forest god. Causes a war between animals and humans.
It's kind of like
yeah.
And then he sends ninjas to go pick a flower.
it is kind of like that. I can't think of the movie title.
Princess
Princess
Mononoke.
Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is like that a little
It's
bit.
got a
but-
similar thing. And then the main character is just like the strongest, like most dangerous, you know, assassin guy ever.
Because
Yeah.
he is ninja.
He can't die.
Like he literally like bites somebody's throat out with his teeth.
his fighting style is extremely brutal. That's
Yeah.
like part of him. He does feel like he could die from the executioner lady. But like someone has to be really tough to be able to do any damage to him, because he can like harden his skin and
Yeah.
like just do ridiculous
And like
stuff.
when the executioner lady like partially pardons him to take him to the expedition. So like the people that were originally trying to kill him were like, no, you can't leave, and they have to fight their way out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at that moment, he was like, well, you want to see like ninjutsu, right? Because she was talking to him about like how he was raised. And that's the moment he literally lights himself on fire, just like magically. So apparently he can do stuff
He's
like
got-
that as
yeah.
well. So like it's set in like almost real world, like down to earth things, but it's got that magical feel to
Yeah.
it. But it's not extreme, say like
It's
Konosuba.
it's
Yeah.
not like a magic world. It's just kind of like this extreme training or whatever is kind of like magic.
Playing
so.
playing on some of the myths and stuff.
Yeah,
like it,
definitely.
It's very much
It's
just
very
like
mythology kind of style.
mythological Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, so
It's
it's,
a cool-
really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. At first, seeing like the trailers and stuff, I thought it was just going to be like really edgy, and it kind of has that vibe to it. But it also has like a really more in-depth character study of the character.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind edgy as long as it isn't like cringe edgy.
Yeah,
There's
no.
cool edgy and then there's cringe edgy.
Like
I-
in one episode, this guy gets stung by this like insect thing that is like a curse.
Oh, the latest
and
episode.
and he just
Yeah.
like reacts, notices it, and just like instantly cuts off his hand.
Yeah, this
And
guy's
it's
like
just,
a
like-
giant samurai guy. He like
It's a
stands
really
7
cool
feet
episode.
tall.
Really cool moment.
The butterfly bug thing just like stings him. He sees the wound. He pictures like he thinks back to like the guy turning into flowers. He's like, zoop, hand gone. And then he just like, instead of like freaking out, he just replies like, things are getting interesting now.
Oh,
it's
jeez.
it's bloody, and it's also like characters die like really suddenly. Like a character I thought was going to be kind of important just died in like a really
Oh, are you talking about the
one,
guy,
yeah,
the one executioner with the eye patch? Yeah.
like he just kind of dies out of nowhere, and
Well, it's kind of like the
it's pretty
one,
crazy.
the entertainer lady.
Yeah,
I thought she was
yeah.
gonna be a character, and then like in a
Oh, yeah.
like a montage, she's just
The
dead.
montage, the one lady seduces this guy, and then the next scene, he's walking away with her head.
Yeah,
It's
there's
pretty
I
insane.
forget what they call them, but basically, I'm just gonna say the word the prostitute, Japan prostitute.
Yeah.
There's like one that's like famous for like seducing like higher ups and stuff and like murdering them. Well, you see in this montage as they get to the island, she seduces her executioner, and they do the thing. But then in the next scene, she's just dead.
He's just
jeez.
carrying away.
He
her
just
head.
killed her. It was like,
It's
wow,
like-
okay.
It's partially that the executioners were sent with them, so that they have to return the flower with their executioner, and then their executioner will kill them if they try to get out of line,
Right.
because they don't want the criminals to escape either.
It's got a lot of cool details. I like how well thought out the show is. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like an isekai that has like haphazard plot.
Yeah.
Well, what isn't isekais though? Usually the brain not working at the moment. I thought isekais were like things like Konosuba and stuff like
They
that.
are.
They are, but the main character has a lot of isekai like main character traits. of being, like,
Overpowered.
super overpowered, and like no,
Yeah.
super epic.
And I was kind of
fighter.
afraid he was gonna be like an isekai protagonist, like the stupid, like
Yeah.
dumb luck. But like, he actually seems very like head on his shoulders type character.
Mhm.
He just kind of literally has no emotion. Like he's like fighting through like his emotions that are welling up and trying to like actually get back to his wife,
Yeah.
which is cool. Anyways, I think we
It's- yeah.
fanboyed over.
It's
that
kind of
enough.
got like a death game style, like
Yeah.
like what's not death game, but like Hunger Games. Like everyone's kind of fighting each other because only one person gets the flower and gets out.
right.
So it's a battle royale.
Yeah,
And that's why a lot of characters die in the second episode, because a lot of the criminals have it in their head that if they just kill everybody else, they'll be the only
They'll
ones
be
to
the
get the
one- yeah.
flower. Because they actually don't know where the flower is. They were given a picture and like a general direction, and that was it.
so then so they're like fighting each other and just trying to whoever gets it first. There's also they're sending more criminals to the island, which is really cool because
They are?
yeah, that's mentioned in the thing of like
I didn't see that.
of like, oh, they've so many have died already. It's like, oh, they'll just send more like criminals
Oh.
after this. That's they're just
oh,
gonna
I get.
keep-
Yeah, I do remember
keep
them
like
saying
sending
that,
in
yeah.
more people. So that's kind of interesting
Just
too.
wave
where
after wave.
Instead of like, here's the characters and these ones are important and
Right.
watch them die. It's just like you
Meanwhile,
never
the-
know when they die because a new one might just show up.
Right.
and-
Meanwhile, the Emperor forgetting why he sent a shipload of prisoners to an island.
It was kind of crazy. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it. Okay, spoiler warnings for this now. If you don't want to listen to this part, skip over it.
Yeah, we already kind of spoiled some things.
Yeah, but this one's kind of more spoilish. There's a scene where all the criminals are brought into a tent, and the actual emperor's there. I don't think he's the emperor of Japan. He's like that shogun of like that region.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But he's sitting there, and then he commands all of the, because there's like, I don't know, like 30 or 50 criminals there. He commands all the criminals to just start killing each other. And the last few that remain are the ones that are actually going to go to the island.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all doing that. And then Gabimaru is the only one that's not killing people. And then he just like straight up just tells off the emperor guy. Just like, why do you want us to kill each other? I think you just are a sadistic little like B word, basically. Like, it's cool. Like, it's got a lot of like cool dialogue like that. Like, it's
Yeah.
very grounded in like, people will call out the obvious.
Yeah.
Compared to like a lot of more milquetoast shows that kind of like don't.
No, I gotta compete in this tournament to prove that I'm worthy of.
Yeah,
something.
where they'll,
Yeah.
they'll like they'll what's the word is it, water it down.
Mhm.
Compared to this was just like they're just straight up killing each other.
Yeah, it is definitely not
cool.
watered down. Very brutal. And
Yeah,
what did you think about Mashal? How much have you watched? This is the first
I'm
episode.
caught up on Mashal.
Oh, me too.
I watched the 2 episodes.
Nice. What do
Yeah.
you think of it?
First episode was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Second episode, I'm a little leery on.
Yeah, same.
At first, I thought it was gonna be Harry Potter meets One Punch Man.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited for that. Second episode comes out, and I'm like, okay, this is getting more like stupid comedy, and the main character is literally just 2-dimensional
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about actual Mashal. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Just not. I'm not too hyped up on him after the
It's just
second
one
episode.
of those shows where it's just narrator all the way through, pretty much.
Not really.
It's kind of, I don't know, the comedy just hasn't been working as well as I'd hoped it would.
Yeah.
It's a little bit underwhelming. I feel like the production isn't super great, and that's part of it. Like the animation isn't.
That could be.
It's pretty simple and basic. It's not like bad, but it's not like good either.
I didn't have anything to really complain about the animation because I see this much more as a comedy.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a comedy.
So like,
show.
I don't really care if there's like a full-on animated fight scene as long as the jokes before and after the fight scene are good.
There are some
And-
pretty like funny jokes and situations. Like him threatening the test is kind of funny.
That
They're
was
just,
pretty
like,
cool.
He like the wizard guy hands out a test, and it's like you have to
The headmaster.
yeah,
guy.
the headmaster gives him a test, and the like test is like words that are like on the page moving because it's like magic enchanted. So part of the test is that you have to get the letters to like line
You have
up.
to decrypt. You have to
Yeah.
cast a spell on the test paper, decrypt it to get them to stand still, and then rearrange them.
Oh,
So that way
And
they
so-
like actually say something.
mm-hmm.
And the guy,
Mashal
go
has
ahead.
no powers. So he's here because
the only power he has is the power of swollenness.
yeah, he's just really strong. So he just looks at the letters and he's like, please stop moving. And they just keep moving. And then he grabs his pen, breaks it, and sets it on the thing and is like, stop moving. And they all just like straighten up. And then he's like, here you go, I'm finished with my test.
I think the scary part. I think the thing is, like, he didn't break a pen. He broke a
he broke a
wand.
quill, I think. It was like a pen.
Oh, it was a
thing.
quill, yeah.
So he like broke it.
But it was something. It was funny because like the headmaster going through his whole like head monologue of like, oh, these people aren't gonna figure it out. Like most people are gonna fail because there's no way they can decrypt this like encryption spell. And then the guy just walked up to him and was like, I'm done.
Yeah. And then like the maze, there's like this wizard maze that you have to get through, and you have to use spells to like escape the monsters that show up and whatever.
Yeah.
And at one point he's like lagging behind because he has to help this one girl. So he just breaks through the maze and the walls, and they're like,
jeez.
that shouldn't be possible with magic, and it's not. He's just so strong that he just breaks through everything. So there's the setting I think is really funny of like him having no magical powers. If he gets caught that he has no magical powers, they like execute people that don't
Yeah.
have magical
But
powers.
his magic is his muscles.
and he's just so strong that he manages to like get through things just through his
The only thing I have hope for is the actual like head of the school basically personally interviews him after like this big old like mess with like him breaking the maze and stuff. He shows up, sends them to like this council of like head mages, and he starts asking them questions, and he's given actually pretty stupid answers because that's his type of character. He doesn't seem like he has any brains whatsoever, just the giant muscle in his head. And there's the final thing is the headmaster guy casts a spell, and then this giant like guillotine thing like shows up with a doll underneath it, and the guys explain like the doll basically consumes the soul of like your most like loved like person that you know. So his father just drops dead in real life, and his soul's in like the doll. Like this guillotine's like about to like kill the doll. So like the headmaster's like, oh, so how are you gonna stop this? Like if you have to fight me, can you actually like beat this magic? And at first he punches the guillotine and he just breaks his hand. So and the headmaster's like, oh, you can't do this with violence. And then like the only cool part is like instead of like them just doing the thing where he's so strong he just actually breaks it, he literally just takes his hands and just stops the guillotine by like shoving his hands under the blade.
yeah.
Oh,
So like that was the only cool like it kind of shows that it might be some type of story and not just a bunch of stupid jokes, because like
Yeah.
the headmaster wasn't expecting him to do that. He was expecting him to try to cast spells. and
I've heard
stuff
the
like that.
beginning of it
Yeah.
is more comedy focused, and then it slowly turns
Yeah.
into more of like a story. But
yeah.
The
There's a lot of comedy anime that do that too. Like they just start out as just kind of over the top gags and stuff,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they just start to like. It was the creator figuring out what exactly they wanted to do with it, and
Yeah.
then eventually it molds into something.
I was kind of, I don't know. I think I had the wrong idea of the show going into it. I was thinking it was gonna be like a mixture of My Hero Academia with like One Punch Man type of thing. But I think it's gonna be much more of like a isekai.
It's
One Punch
more
Man
like
type show.
Konosuba,
Yeah.
One Punch Man.
Very
Harry
comedy,
Potter,
very
yeah.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Very
something
over the
like
top.
My Hero like starts out as kind of lighthearted and it just starts getting more and more serious as it goes on.
Are you caught up with that yet?
No.
Oh
I
my
tried
God.
watching an episode the other day. I was like, ADD, go.
Some of the earlier episodes you have to like force yourself to watch.
I wasn't even that I wasn't interested, just I
Yeah.
ended up doing other things.
I just caught up with the show, so I just was wondering. Waiting for season 7 now.
Patiently.
Very patient.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, wait, hold the train.
You better hurry up because it's coming out next year, man. And then we have another
I
24 episodes.
hopefully should be done before then.
Because then we can watch it episode by episode.
I
and
just
actually
need a
talk
good
about
bout of the flu or something.
it. Let me cough on you because I currently got
I'd
something going on.
rather not be coughed on. Or I just need to throw my back out and I'll be paralyzed for like 4 days.
There you go. You just have to pick up another cap.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Mashal is a pretty good show, and I'm gonna keep
Mashal
watching.
could be a mess, or it could be...
You know, you say Mashal, and this is going to sound really weird. I just picture a Mashal for some reason brings to mind a clam with just a buff arm coming out of it.
That's not a bad way of
That
describing
is,
the show.
One of my complaints is that I wish it was more focused on like him having to hide that he's not a wizard, because it kind of feels like everyone knows that he's not.
But
and
he's the wizard of strength.
I would have liked if they made it more obvious that like he has to hide this and nobody can find out.
I can't tell if they all just assume he can't do magic and are too scared to say anything, or if they're just literally all as stupid as him.
Yeah, like it seems like they realize he's really strong and just doesn't use magic, because he does have they put the like magic
The scar
on him
the
so
Harry
that people
Potter
would
scar.
so that people would think he has
Yeah.
magic powers. But I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I kind of hope that like him doing stuff with his strength makes people think that he is a really strong wizard when he's just not. Like, that seems more funny to me than people just being like, why aren't you using magic, why are you using your strength? And it's just like, because I'm strong.
Well, it's also like in the montage scene, like he throws a rock. No, he levitates a rock by gripping it with his pinky finger. It's this boulder, like as big as his head type boulder.
Yeah.
He also walks on water just by running across the water. Because of course,
So
being strong can let you
Yeah.
do that.
he has all the spell abilities.
does.
He's just not using
There's
them in
also
the way that...
like the teacher asked him to do something and he's like, why use magic for that? You could just do it.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. Like, it's a good like concept.
You ever seen? You might get this. You ever seen the D&D meme of the battle axe sticking into the target by the handle?
Yeah.
And it's just like when your barbarian
has more
fails.
strength than dex.
Yeah, when your barbarian has more strength than dex, but still succeeds on the dex roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. Some of the concepts are interesting.
It's not
like-
bad. I was just hoping for something a little bit different. I think that's the best way to describe it.
I feel like talking about it, the things that happen in it are interesting, but watching it isn't as fun as I hoped it would be.
It's going to be the one show that I watch every week that I'm not like looking forward to unless it gets really good.
Yeah, I'm like curious about it, and it's been enjoyable to watch, but I haven't been like overly
Right.
excited about
Yeah.
it. It doesn't have like the funny Konosuba laugh out loud kind of stuff in it, but it's still like a fun show.
Yeah. I would say the next big one to talk about is now we can kind of explain what's happening with Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. Okay, so you've watched the movie, right?
The
train.
train. The
Okay.
train was
Mugen
literally
Train.
the last Demon Slayer thing I
Then he
watched.
fights Akaza like at the very end, and
The Entertainment District
what's his
arc.
name dies. So the the Entertainment District arc, they go into the red light district and they kill a
They
prostitute.
burn
named-
down the town and then kill a prostitute and a homeless man.
Dang.
Yup.
with the help of a Chad who has 3 wives.
With the help of a Mormon.
With the help of
So the Crusaders show up with the aid of the Mormon to
With
purge the
the
town.
help of a ninja and his harem, they kill a homeless man and and his sister prostitute.
Yep.
and they were demons.
But if his sister was a prostitute, shouldn't she be able to fund him to have a home?
Well, they were already dead, so it's just kind of too late at that point.
Yeah,
okay.
technically she was like
He technically like lived. Didn't he like come out of her?
yeah, he like they were like conjoined in some
Conjoined
weird
together?
way. Like they had a weird demon power.
Yeah.
That
And
just,
he
like,
couldn't.
Brings to mind a villain from anime Yu Yu Hakusho. Like,
Oh, yeah?
it's like where it's like this huge dude and like his brother turned into a sword.
Yeah,
They
it's
had
something kind of
to-
like that, where the brother appears. I forget if he doesn't like just morph out of her or like is in the shadows all the time or something.
They also couldn't kill them because they had to kill both at the same time. Because
Right,
they're like
because they were a ghoul, but they were like
joined together,
twins type of ghoul.
so. Anyways,
Not ghoul, but demon.
I mean, there wasn't a lot that happened in that arc. Just Tengen Uzui is the new Hashira guy. He doesn't die in the end. He gets his
Right.
arm cut off and goes to retire with his wives.
You mean the flashy guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was actually a much better character than they showed in the
series.
like the Hashira thing, where
The
everyone
Hashira scene in the first
yeah, the
season.
Hashira scene in the first season is so terrible because all of them are just like, I am the most generic trope ever.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
once you get into like actually what their characters are about, they're much more interesting.
I mean, kind of like the fire dude in the train
Yeah.
arc. Like, it's
Like,
like, oh,
he's-
he's actually likable.
He's actually really cool. Same thing with Uzui. He's one of the best parts of it. After that is
The
Tan-
swordsmith.
Tanjiro. So Tanjiro does manage to kill the demon who was a high level demon with the help of Uzui.
They were upper six moon.
I think they were a lower six.
No,
or-
they were upper six.
I don't think they were in the top 5. They were like the top 10 or whatever. I don't remember.
Well,
Number 5.
No, yeah, they were. They
there's
were one
12
of, the
of
top.
them.
Yeah, there were 12.
Remember in the first season, one of the lower six
Right.
get killed, and he's like, "I'm just gonna murder all of you." And then he just tells the upper six, like,
Right,
"If any of
yeah,
you
yeah.
die, you're all like
Yeah.
screwed."
I think this guy was. He was one of the.
He was the six.
the 6.
So he was the
So he
least
was
powerful.
The least powerful of the. Whatever. Anyways, he's killed by Tanjiro, who used his like all of his strength to do it, and he went into a coma for like months.
Basically,
With the
he's
other
he's that WoW character that uses all of his ultimates at once, and his game just crashes.
Yeah. So they from the fight was like so intense that they all went into like comas for a while.
Oh, wow, 2 months.
Tanjiro.
Tanjiro's in a coma for 2 months.
Yeah, he was in.
Meanwhile,
he was,
Nezuko tried 2 years.
Tanjiro
That's
was
true.
in a coma for the longest. Zenitsu. Zenitsu was like asleep the whole time and just like fighting epically because he's got like super.
He did get hurt, but
but not as badly as the
Yeah.
other one. So he already had woken up and was given another assignment. Inosuke.
He's gone from the show.
Yeah,
for
he's done
good?
for the show for this arc, I think.
so
I
is
might have
Inosuke.
to watch it.
And-
Inosuke's also gone,
Oh.
Inosuke is also gone.
but he got poisoned in season 2, and also got like a lot of like his internal organs ruptured.
Yeah, but that's him on an
Also,
average
Zenitsu
day.
is awesome.
Wasn't
He's
Zenitsu the one
so-
in season 2 where he's like, part of my breathing technique is I can rearrange my organs?
No, that was Inosuke.
No, that's
Yeah.
Inosuke. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
I was thinking the boar guy.
yeah.
Yeah, in season 2 we realized like he can do that focus breathing. Another part of his breathing technique is he just rearranges his organs at will.
I mean, if you've had your body smashed up that much, you could too.
yeah, but it was disturbing too because he like gets stabbed through the heart.
And they're like,
Supposedly,
"Oh,
he's
no,
like,
he's
"Oh, I
dead."
just moved my
he's
heart
like,
to where my stomach was."
You fool. So, anyways, after all that, Tanjiro wakes up from his coma. It was also the waking up scene was funny because everyone's like excited to see him again, waking up after 2 months, and then he's just like mentions like, "Inosuke, are you gonna come down from there?" And he's like above his bed.
That was the only
No,
joke I
that
actually
is-
laughed at because
that
he was
was
just
really
like,
funny.
"How long have I been asleep for? 2 months." He's like, "Oh, so I must still be hallucinating because Inosuke is on the roof." And they just all do the turn. And it just looks like a scene from The Exorcist.
And then he jumps down and he's like, and they're like, "Wait, how long have you been there?" And it like flashes back and he's like, "I've been here for 2 days."
It is kind of
And it like flashed back to like a day ago, and he's like leaning down, he's like, "Hey, Tanjiro," or whatever he calls him. He's just like, "Wake up, wake up! What's wrong with you? Wake up!" So, yeah,
The
that
thing-
was pretty great.
the thing I didn't like about that scene is they have this random cleaning guy.
Oh, that was kind of funny. He was in like the show in the background for a
The whole
long
time. It was like that Star Wars thing.
He was like, I was the guy that brought him in front of the Hashiras. He was the guy that like helped clean up different like
The
areas or
train.
whatever. Yeah.
He was the guy that found him in like the destroyed red district. And then he's like, I'm really worried about my buddy. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, nobody knows and cares about you.
Yeah, he was like a random side character. And then they so after he wakes up and like gets back to training and stuff, he needs a new sword, and they can't find his swordsmith guy because he's a jerk and just left. And so
Yeah, I think in season 2 he like said something about like if you break a sword again, because he broke his sword in the train arc.
Mhm.
If he breaks his sword again, he's gonna murder him. Well, instead he just runs away.
yeah, so he's just kind of gone and nobody knows where he's at. So he goes to the swordsmith village to like see what's going on and get a new sword. And
The love Hashira's there. I forget her name.
Mitsuri.
Mitsuri, and also the Mist Hashira's there,
Yeah.
which is like this. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. I think it's a trap.
It's a guy. I'm pretty
Definitely a trap.
I think
Cue
it's pretty
Admiral Akbar.
obviously a guy. But anyways, then there's also this mystery thing going on of Tanjiro's like history. He had this weird dream memory of like his parents talking to
Apparently,
flame
the
Hashira guy?
character that we
So-
see, like, he has a bunch of flashbacks in the movie,
Yeah.
the first season. And, like, we always see this flashback of this character doing, like, the fire dance.
Mhm.
I thought they implied.
It was his
Slash-
father, yeah, is what they said.
But now in season 3, it's just a random.
It's
Demon
not totally.
Slayer?
I don't know if it's like a weird memory thing of Tanjiro not understanding who he is or what, but this.
Anyways, the guy that he has flashbacks about, apparently right now, they're implying that it's not actually his father, but just like a random, possibly like the original like Flame Hashira or something like
Yeah,
that.
I'm not sure. Like where he gets his
But
fire breathing.
at the same time, that same character, because we see all the upper 6 for the
Yeah.
demons, he apparently appears to look like be the upper 1 demon.
Oh.
We actually see
okay.
him. He's got like 6 eyes, but he's still got the same scar and the red hair and stuff.
Yeah, and then
Huh.
it looks like he's in the village when Tanjiro walks up to the Mist Hashira guy, but he's not sure. It's you just see him from the back, and he has the same hair. So,
Yeah, and then it turns out to be just a training dummy.
oh, I haven't seen.
It was a
second-
training.
Oh, you
dummy
haven't
this
seen
whole
season
time.
episode 2? Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
That's
Trail.
right.
I
I
forgot.
just haven't seen. Yeah, the second.
Oh,
episode,
okay.
So
I didn't even
all I
think
know is the
that.
first episode. So far,
gonna shut
I'm
up now.
guessing Mitsuri is gonna stick around longer, but so far she's just like, I'm out of here. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't know. Episode 2 was very quick, it felt like, and not a whole lot happens besides for like expedition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I feel like
Exposition.
every Demon
Exposition.
Slayer has a weird thing where it feels like every episode's really fast, which is a good thing. It's not
Yeah.
like a slog to get through, but it also feels like not a lot happens. So it's always like, I just want to binge this show really fast.
I have
and
the
get it
same
over with.
feeling with Demon Slayer as I do when I play D&D, where it's like my whole party's been like role playing for an hour and a half, and we moved 5 feet. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I would like to get through this dungeon sometime in my life.
I feel like Demon Slayer might be a better binge than a week to week.
Yeah.
Because the mystery, like, there are some mysteries and stuff that it's kind of like showing, but it's mostly like the action and the world building and
I
stuff
would
that's
not-
going on. So
So far, I would not want to binge season 3.
You-
I would just want to watch it week to week.
really,
Yeah.
I feel like I'd rather binge it. I feel like I would rather binge the second season. I feel like that would be way better than watching it.
The
week to week.
second season, because the second season was shorter, wasn't it? It was only
yeah, it
12
was 12
episodes.
episodes. This one's only going to be 13, I think.
Yeah, so maybe I would want to binge those more,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I kind of had a hard time watching through the first season. Like I watched in a couple days, but like in the middle part, it felt like it got very slow.
Yeah, there was a lot of
after
training and stuff.
the like drum manor,
Yeah.
it got slowed way down.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it sped up a little bit towards the end again, like towards the Spider Mountain. But like, I don't know. Like season 2, I do agree. I would have rather binge that than watch it week to week because
Yeah.
that literally felt like 2 minutes.
It
and we
was
were done.
just, yeah, it was just like one massive fight, it felt like,
Yeah.
for most of it. So,
But this one seems like it's gonna be more mystery oriented
Yeah.
because
That's
we don't
interesting.
really even see an actual villain yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I've heard from people that this arc is pretty, like, people like it, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Demon Slayer is just a really solid show. So yeah, that's about it for Demon Slayer. It's good.
I have
I
a
like it.
complaint about it.
What's your complaint?
It's too funny.
It's not
It's too funny.
it's not very funny, actually.
Well, that's the problem. They try being too funny, and
yeah.
none of the jokes land. It feels forced. It feels like a Marvel movie to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not. I don't know. It's not super comedy focused, but it's not like super funny either. It doesn't really bother me, but it's not
I don't know.
great.
I guess I'm
either.
just not enjoying like all the cutaways to like. It might be. I might just be misremembering the first season, but like. It seems like every other second the characters are in like weird chibi form and there's a weird joke going on and just like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it is more than it was. The first, I feel like the beginning of the first season was more serious because it was dealing with him, like, his family dying, and,
Yeah.
and Nezuko is a demon now and all that stuff. And then it kind of goes more into, there were always like bits and pieces of jokes, but it does feel like the more characters are together, the more like comedic it is.
Most
Yeah.
of the comedy came from like Inosuke and
Yeah. Zenitsu
Yeah.
and like all the side characters around him, whereas Tanjiro and Nezuko weren't like super funny together or anything.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe now that Zenitsu and Borgai, because I forget his name,
Inosuke.
and
Inosuke.
Nosuke are gone. Maybe now that they're trying to force Tanjiro and Nezuko to be funny, it just doesn't feel
Doesn't
Yeah,
right.
because
Yeah.
Tanjiro is always
Well.
supposed to be kind of like that laid back, level headed
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And now he's like, and it's not like he's trying to make jokes. It's just like they're trying to put him in scenes that seem too comedic for the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do make, especially it felt like in the second season, he felt really like dumb
Yeah.
at certain points for no reason. So yeah, I do.
He's
see
not
that.
supposed to be dumb. He's supposed to be like a person that grew up on a mountain. So he was kind of like that farm boy.
Yeah.
character. He's not.
Yeah, because like
And
with the
he's-
train
yeah.
movie, it was more as just kind of in wonder of like these things he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it makes sense. He like when he goes to the city and he has that like face because he's just like shocked about how many people and like what's going on in this
Right.
massive
I
city.
don't know, honestly, not to get on a soapbox. I feel like that's something that's kind of been lost with our generations is the concept of seeing something you've never seen. Like anymore, like most people think, "Oh, you don't know what that is? Well, you're stupid."
That is
Instead
a good
of,
point.
Yeah, that is
"Oh,
true.
you don't know what that is? Well, let me explain it to you."
Yeah, look at the wonders of this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does feel like the jokes partially aren't. I don't know. Most of it, a lot of it is just characters interacting. That's just kind of like whatever. They're just,
Yeah.
like the little girls and stuff and the whole bedside like thing of everyone.
Well, I get that because they were like that from season 1.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, the butterfly girl, not the poison Hashira, not the bug Hashira, but her apprentice.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were making her like in part of the jokes and stuff. Like she would like
Yeah.
be a butt end of a joke, or she would like be part of a joke. And like her character was never like that.
Yeah,
She
it
was
didn't
like the
really fit,
shy.
Totally. Yeah.
And I don't know, either we missed a bunch of stuff, or it seems like they're forcing things on characters that just aren't supposed to be there yet, it feels like.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
know. Demon Slayer also feels like that show that's going to go mainstream and is already mainstream.
It's very mainstream.
So it's like, I feel like maybe they're changing things up to be more popular with a general audience than maybe a niche audience.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know how funny the manga is. Like how
Me neither.
it's
I've never read
I
it,
feel like it
so-
is probably written like this because usually this is like the Full Metal Alchemist thing. It's like the same situation where there's just random like comedic moments, but in the manga it doesn't come off as like in your face because it's just like a panel of him like making a joke about this.
Yeah.
Whereas in the anime it's like has to be this whole scene of him like,
Yeah, and with Demon Slayer, it already feels like episodes like a minute long.
Yeah.
So I just get really annoyed where it seems like every other scene has to be like a joke type scene or a funny scene where I'm like, okay, I just want to see more of the story.
Yeah.
Show me like why is his dad not his dad type of thing.
Yeah. I do get that. I mean, partially that's kind of a good complaint where you're just like, the story's interesting. I want to see
Well,
more
that's
of it.
exactly it.
But
Like,
it's also like, there's a bunch of stuff that's happening that I don't
It's also
care
this
as much
thing
about.
called padding out time.
well, that's what it feels like to me. And that's what I'm saying. It's like it's getting mainstream, and I'm wondering if they're like purposely doing stuff like that so they can continue with the show.
I do have to say a minor complaint I have is in the infinite
Mugen Train arc.
no, the infinite like layer that the demons are in.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a cool like scene, but I felt like they went a little bit overboard where the animation ellipsed the storytelling, where it was felt like they were more focused on making cool animation than actually telling the story that needed to be told, because there was a lot of just like, we're gonna move the camera all
Yeah.
over the place and we're gonna do these cool flashes and effects and everything, and it was like, you don't need this much. Like, you can do a few things, but it just felt like every scene was just, look at our freaking awesome animation, we're so good at animating, and it's like, this doesn't really help the story at all. It's just kind of in your face. Like,
Within the first minute of that scene, I'm like, okay, this is really cool. They're strutting their stuff. They're showing how
Yeah.
good their animation is. And then the scene literally went on for like 10 minutes.
it's a long scene.
And after like 7 minutes into it, I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, why is everything keep on moving?
Like it felt like it could have been half the length if they just like, you can zoom in, show that this like infinite,
It's infinite.
world is like ginormous and whatever, and like to show how gravity and everything, this whole blood demon art is wild in this place.
Yeah.
But you can do that with like one camera sweep into it and then focus on, this is happening, these demons are showing up, this is a conversation. And instead of just like, it felt like just a little bit too much of camera like work to make it look cool.
It felt like those Bollywood movies where they use every single effect in a 1 minute like scene, and we're just like, okay, I don't need to see the next fade transition scene.
Yeah. Or like those meme videos that are just like, oh my goodness, this is a ridiculous amount of work in editing, but it's just too much, where you just
Exactly.
like,
It's like you lost the joke.
yeah.
And that's what it felt like with this. It's like they lost the wow factor. Of
Yeah.
Like, wow, you guys are like pretty good at animating this. Like, this looks good. 7 minutes into it, just like, I'd like the story to continue.
Yeah,
please.
it's like I get this epic animation, but yeah, it was just a
in the
bit.
90s when movie people or special effects people figured out CGI.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just like, how big can we make this dinosaur?
It does look really good though. Like
It does.
Everything looks good. It's a good show, but it does feel like that was partially its success, where it's just like, wow, we can do
I
more.
will
good
say
stuff.
the love Hashira's like reason for being a Hashira is amazing. She wants to find her husband, like her forever partner, but she figures that a woman should be protected by her husband, so she has to find somebody of like more power than her.
Yeah.
So she became a Hashira because like Hashiras are the most powerful people, right? So she can find somebody she loves. Well, she accidentally became like one of the most powerful Hashira.
Hashira.
So like now there's no way that's
It's,
more
like,
powerful.
so hard for her to find someone stronger. And it felt like she was kind of liking Tanjiro because he was just like, I'm gonna be so strong, I'm gonna defeat Kabuchi, and she's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Right.
maybe him.
Maybe.
She is a cool character though. Like the moments that show, the Hashiras have all been really good so far. The moments where they really show like what their motivation is, and more than just being a cliche, they're
Yeah,
actually like
it's really cool.
really
Like it.
cool, interesting people.
So yeah, that's about Demon Slayer. So it's not bad. It's not
Yeah.
good. It's Demon Slayer.
It's like it's like a classic show that's just like, this is a good anime.
Exactly.
1,000 episodes later.
It's a okay. And
It's actually not that long of a manga, so it probably
Yeah.
won't go on too long.
it already
but-
ended, and people were kind of upset about the ending, I guess.
Yeah, I guess people didn't.
But
like
they're
the ending. It was just
mainly
okay.
upset about every ending of a manga. So.
Yeah.
Is there anything people aren't upset about?
Nope.
If I were to put Demon Slayer in a tier, it would be like a B+ show.
might give it like a B plus plus.
Z
Yeah.
tier.
I feel like it's in B tier, but
Wow.
it's like the very top of B
Yeah.
tier, where it's just like, this is a quality show. It's
They
a lot
did
better
something
than a lot
right.
of
They might
things.
get extra credit and might get like an A minus.
Yeah. It depends how it goes on. If it gets way better, it would definitely get into like A. But like comparing it to a show like
Let's just say I'm way more excited to watch Hell's Paradise than Demon Slayer.
yeah, I kind of am too. And I feel like Demon Slayer might be a better show,
All of
but
this,
I am more excited for Hell's Paradise just because it's more fresh and
all of
interesting.
this kind of makes me want to undertake the arduous task of watching all of Bleach.
Bleach is good.
I know, I've seen
I
a
haven't
few
seen
random
all
episodes.
of it, but Bleach is good. It's just like 15 seasons of it. Plus, they came out with a new season.
1,000-year
Yeah.
Blood War.
I don't even know if that's the whole thing. I think there's gonna be another season.
Yeah,
of that.
I think there's going to
Oh,
be
yeah,
another
it's
part
a
to it because it
long-
just ended.
long
Yeah.
arc.
Anyways,
Inspector, you watched it. You had things
Yeah.
to say about it.
Inspector
This is
season
season
2.
two,
It
yeah.
was okay. The very ending episode I liked the most out of all of it, because season 1 of Inspector focused on an actual main singular story
yeah,
where the main character names escape me as usual.
the emo looking boy, right?
Yeah, emo boy and lolly girl who's not a lolly. She's actually a college student.
That's not.
It's just a lolly.
They're both
just
they're,
a lolly.
yeah, they're both college students. But anyways,
They're both consenting adults. Twitter.
the first season focused on them trying to figure out the murder of this idol girl, and her ghost is now terrorizing the city.
Huh. Okay.
And that's the central core theme of the first season. The second season, which is what I've been watching, is just kind of it's story arcs that are just their own stories that they're involved in, but they're not really the main focus of the story. The first story is about these ghosts come to the main characters, and there's this powerful evil spirit and haunting this apartment, and they find out it's this little cursed doll thing. And then it's that arc gets done. Then the next one I think is this snow spirit falls in love with this guy who's accused of murdering his wife, and they're trying to help clear that. It's a very dialogue heavy show. And it's just there's just these little short story arcs. There's no centralized thing. They tease at the idea that, oh yeah, we're trying to track down the main guy's cousin who tried to, I don't remember, I think she tried to kill the main character in the first season by having the ghost do it.
Oh, so the cousin? Are you talking about the girl cousin?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've only seen clips of the first season, and she was the one that was in the hospital.
Yeah.
So she went missing, or she just left?
Yeah, at the end of season 1, she just ups and leaves out of the hospital because yeah, I'm immortal too.
Oh, okay,
the main
gotcha.
character's boyfriend, and so she's I've just been here this whole time pretending to be sick.
Huh. So she is in the makings of being the big bad, or
I don't know, because in the second season, she's not evil. She just doesn't like the main character.
the main character being the guy
The girl.
or the girl,
The lolly.
the lolly. Okay.
She just doesn't like her, and she wants her to stay away from her cousin.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was weird because it's seeing her. I would actually be more interested if they had a season dedicated to her rather than the other two main characters. She's more interesting.
Okay, that makes sense.
She's kind of a cold character, but at the same time, she's not. She gets hit. There's this, I think it's brother and sister friends or whatever at this apartment place, and they're nice to her. And then it's because every time she dies, she can see the future or
Yeah.
paths of the future, potentials. She goes out, gets hit by a truck, and then as a show of kindness to them, when she got hit by the truck, she figured out what a winning race bet was.
How did she do that?
She had a ticket to this horse race.
Yeah.
And so when she got hit, she was able to see like all the potential paths of like this future.
Oh,
She
so when
bets
she
on-
dies, she can see in the future?
Yeah, and she can
Okay.
like pick like a strand to take, and so of like of a path for the future to go in.
Oh, so she can control the future.
Kind of.
Oh, that's
Kind
good.
of.
So
It's really weird.
can she only do that, or can the lolly girl do that as well?
No, Lolly Girl can't do anything other than be mouthy and annoying.
Oh wait, so you said the other one oh, so the guy
Can.
character
He's immortal and has the same exact powers. Because what happened to
Gotcha.
him and his cousin was when they were kids, they were forced to eat two different kinds of yokai. One was a mermaid, which I think gave him the immortality, and the other one was some beast that like it would, if you asked it like about the future, it would foretell the future and then die.
kind of like so in a weird way like a sphinx.
Yeah, not like a sphinx. But like the mermaid aspects counteract the dying aspects of being
I
able
got
to
you.
tell
Oh,
the
okay.
future.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the lady just like to show like repay them for her kindness, she goes, gets hit by a truck, finds out the winning horse for this race,
That's
comes back
funny.
with a bunch of money. He's like, here you go.
That's
Thanks for letting me stay here.
that's like very messed up humor, which is enjoyable sometimes.
But the very like then they covered a story where this guy like had his wife killed because she was like very oppressive to like a family, like a big this like big corpo family.
Okay.
And so this guy like goes to like this fox spirit to have her murdered, and then
Like a kitsune?
no, some other kind of fox spirit.
Okay.
And then like it just goes in this whole debacle. Well, I actually did. No, I actually did. Well, I planned on doing it. Well, I didn't actually do it, but I planned on doing it. Like it wasn't like getting anyone arrested. It was like just like unveiling like all this like
So unveiling that the whole entire family was just messed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
like that went on too long, it felt
Oh,
like.
okay,
But
yeah.
the very last episode was really interesting because the lolly girl, I can't think of her freaking name, is just sitting in this restaurant, and I guess in Japan, like just eel restaurants are a thing,
Eel?
like just preparing eel in different
Oh.
dishes.
All right.
And there's just these two random guys sitting there talking, and they're like, well, that's odd to see like such a pretty girl here. And it's like, it must be like some kind of omen or something. It's like, and then one guy's like, well, I think it's good fortune. And the other one's like, well, it could also be foretelling like ill fortune, kind of like how you murdered your wife. And then like it goes into this whole thing of this guy's friend accusing him of killing his wife. And in the end, the spoilers here, you find out the guy did kill his wife, and it's like he just had invited his friend out, like because he planned on going and turning himself into the cops, and like he hadn't been sleeping or anything, like he's just
Yeah.
drained. Well, that entire time they're talking, the guy's wife, her ghost, goes and talks to the girl because the girl, like the lolly girl, is like the goddess of wisdom for ghosts and demons and stuff. Yeah, her. I can't
You can't
read
pronounce
it. Yeah, Iwanaga.
Iwanaga Kotoko.
Yeah, that. But yeah, that entire
She
time.
looks like an annoying child.
It's just funny because it's like everyone like, oh, look how pretty you are, and then she opens her mouth and like, oh,
Everybody else has like a really different art style than her too.
yeah,
Like the cousin girl that you're talking about, Rika. Yeah, Rika, and then Karu, which is the guy. They both have like a really distinct art style.
yeah.
And then there's annoying lolly child over here.
All the characters stand out really well. But anyways, back to the thing.
Yeah, sorry.
You find out like the guy's wife's ghost went and told her what was going on and wanted because the whole thing, like he murdered his wife because they were gonna break up, but he didn't want anyone else having her. And so the ghost wanted what was her name?
Which one? Annoying
The-
lolly child?
Yeah.
Kotoko.
They want
Koto.
Koto.
Kotoco. Kotoko.
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 Wanted her to tell the husband that it's like, oh well, you'll always have me now because like she like the ghost had latched onto the guy and was just basically wearing him down. And it was it was
jeez.
basically like, oh, no matter what you do, like to clear your conscience, I'll always be here.
Dang.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a one episode thing. It was a one and done, and it's like it just was like, oh, look at this happy, just random episode about two friends in a talking in a bar, and then it just like plummeted down to that.
Dang.
And it's like by the end, I was like, I would be more interested in a show about someone like maybe this guy, like what he's having to
Yeah.
deal with now. But
Her character bio is kind of funny. It says she is a very outgoing personality and always makes an effort to find the root of any problem, especially when she has to help yokai. She's oblivious to danger and she tends to be very clingy to when it comes to Koro, which is the guy.
yeah,
This is literally every single annoying lolly character in any anime ever.
That's the one thing in season 2.
Yeah.
All right, so the guy can't die.
Right.
Like, there's one part he gets shot right in the forehead and just like gets back up and was like, please don't.
The
do that
Deadpool
again.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also gets electrocuted to death multiple times by like this evil cursed puppet thing. And it's just always these things, and like she just like never show. It's like, okay, yeah, he's immortal and stuff, but it's like it seems like you would still show some care.
Like, sorry, you just got shot
Not
in the
just
face.
go meet puppet. So all in all, I mean, I like the show, and I hope it does get a season 3 because I want to see like where like the story goes with like
Yeah.
Rika and stuff. But it wasn't my favorite.
I mean,
compared to
sometimes
season
season 2s are usually pretty rough because they're like, season 1 is always adapting like the heavy hitter part of the manga that like get people into the manga.
Yeah.
Then season 2 is usually like adapting the slower parts sometimes.
Yeah.
That's like setting up.
And I
stuff.
mean, it was cool seeing her do what she does and like going and helping cases for like yokai
Yeah.
and stuff. Like that was cool. It's just it seems like there would have been more of a integral part to the
Seems
whole
very
thing.
more episodic. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Other than I mean,
cool.
it was
I actually kind of want to watch it now.
It was
I might watch
relaxing.
season 1 because it actually seems pretty cool.
is 90% dialogue though, so
I'll watch it dubbed then.
I don't think there is a dub out yet for it.
I'm never watching it then.
I do have like the first 3 books of the manga if you want to borrow them.
I might be able to. I might do that. I don't know. I have a ridiculous. If something's very dialogue focused, my dyslexia just makes it near impossible to actually like retain anything that's going on.
Yeah.
On one episode, it got so dialogue heavy. Me and my girlfriend usually watch it while we're eating.
Yeah.
And we had to stop the show because it's like trying to cut food and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What's going
Yeah.
on?
I never watch anime while I eat because it's like I have to be. able to
Pyrolas
focus.
kept on wanting us to watch anime while we eat. I was just like, why? I can't read and eat at the same time.
It's
Well,
also
I can read and eat, but it's like, well, this one day, it's like, I forgot what it was. It's just like I had bought meat and we grilled it, and it's like trying to sit there and cut that.
Yeah.
Not cut through a paper plate.
Yeah.
On my lap.
I also have the problem is that the dialogue doesn't always match up like the same amount of syllables to what they say.
Yep.
So sometimes I read it as if they are like speaking the words at the same time. So I
Yep.
like read word per what they say. But sometimes I don't like. Sometimes I can catch words and kind of like match it up. Other times it's just like blah blah blah, and it's like 2 lines, and I'm like, I missed the second line.
I
Exactly.
missed the entire season.
I have that same problem. And this is the problem of the subtitle people. But when multiple voices start going on and you have the top subtitles,
yeah.
the bottom subtitles, sometimes you get middle subtitles, I'm just like, I don't know what the frick is going on.
I can read pretty fast, but when that happens,
Yeah, it's
whoa,
like, yeah,
whoa,
nope.
whoa.
There was one time, there's a scene in My Hero Academia. No, not My Hero Academia. And it was in...
Well, it happens in My Hero Academia where it's just like text, and then that text gets bumped
No,
to
it
the
was in
top.
it was in Oshinokoi. No, Oshinoko. There's a news broadcast going on. There's
Yeah.
2 people talking, and then there's background
Yeah.
like people talking.
Yep,
And they sub it all.
yeah.
And I'm just like, there's I can't even see the picture. Like, what's
This is
going
why
on?
I watch it on my computer. It's just like pause, read everything, play.
Image
Pause.
captured, enhanced.
But I'm not playing a visual novel. I'm watching an anime here.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just be like, I'll be reading, but not super paying attention to the show too. And then I'm just like, wait a second, I missed whatever that was, and go back
Yeah.
and like reread it.
Well, cool. It sounds like we're all mostly enjoying most of the animes we've been watching, and
Next up
I'm
on the
enjoying
list
it.
is Ancient Magnus Bride Season 2.
yeah, because you actually need to watch
Nice,
some
nice.
seasonal anime.
I do.
Maybe we
Do
can talk
your
about it.
job.
Or at least
No,
just watch
Oh,
more
okay.
anime so you can talk
I
about it,
try.
even if it's old.
I try.
You do.
Well,
I
speaking
do.
of that, we have a little bit of extra time. I mean, not really, but we do. I wanted to hear about that one anime that you're watching.
Oh yeah, let me
Cobb.
get my phone.
Benary of the Iron Fortress.
Yeah, you said it's like a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, so you know how we were playing a video game, Grim Dawn, that was like
Yeah.
a steampunk zombies invading the world
Yep.
game? That's this in Japan.
Oh, that's sweet.
Sounds cool.
It's basically like they have like some kind of zombie plague broke out where it's like these zombies, you can only kill them by, it looks like either beheading them or like you have to pierce their heart, but their heart is like wrapped in iron.
Oh,
So like they look like they're burning all
Yeah.
the time. And this guy is trying, he's what's called a steam smith.
Mhm.
So like him and his friends and stuff, they work on these trains that are transporting cargo between these like survivor cities.
gotcha.
And he's trying to figure out, because they use like all their they have guns and stuff, but they're all like charged by like these steam packs.
Okay.
And he's trying to figure out like a weapon to be able to like pierce the heart on a kabune.
Yeah, like a rail gun.
Yeah, basically, it looks like a steam nail gun.
Okay,
Basically,
that's cool.
what he's building, and it ends up being like this train gets over. Oh yeah, like if you get bit by a kabune, you have like a suicide pack. I don't know if the two of you can will allow you to say. Basically, it's a little pack of like black powder with a cord. You hold it to your heart if you're bit, and you just like pull it and it explodes.
Oh,
that you don't
jeez.
make more zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Because like,
people
is
are
the transformation like pretty fast then? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
and it's like people are definitely paranoid, terrified of like this whole thing because it's basically overran all of Japan
Okay. Gotcha.
and probably the world, I'm assuming.
Right.
Um,
So it sounds like a Fire Force type of thing then.
kind
It's
of the
kinda
world's not scorched. Everything's just medieval Japan, basically.
Okay.
It kind of sounds like Attack on Titan, kind of. If
Kind
they
of,
focused
yeah.
more on the monster, like
Yeah,
undead aspect of it.
That's kind of what it's like.
That's
And
cool.
it ends up being like the main character gets bit by a kabune, but he figures out, like, everyone thinks it's a curse, but he's like, no, it's a disease.
Wait a second. I seen a scene like this. Is it where he's like in a workshop and like he's like wrapping himself in iron? Like,
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, if
Oh.
I can cut it off to that, like, before it gets to my brain, I'll be fine. And it's
I-
like, it basically gives him like superpowers.
I literally saw a scene on this
That's cool.
YouTube. And of course, stupid people that put scenes on YouTube and don't tell you what anime it is. I've
Yeah.
been looking for over a year for this show. Thank you.
That sounds sweet.
Yeah,
Like
there's-
if you see the scene, it's really cool. It's like really
Yeah.
cool animation too. Like he's like you see like the zombie virus like working up his arm and stuff. He just like clamps the arm down with
and
like
it like
steel.
clamps his neck and stuff.
So he's like
That-
in like an exoskeleton type.
kind of, it's
thing.
more like a harness piece
Yeah,
type thing.
it's pretty cool.
That sounds really cool.
It's actually like pretty metal, like that whole. scene.
Yeah.
But I've only gotten like an episode and a half in, and so far I really liked it. Like the characters are interesting. There's this one girl who's like super powered, kind of, I think, but like
Because of a zombie or because
I don't know. I think she's like a hybrid or something.
Okay.
But like she's got like these steam pistols and stuff.
oh sweet. I'm gonna have to
Cool.
watch
It
it now.
wipes out most of the zombies in the village in the first episode.
Okay, so like they're hard to kill, but like if you just like blow off their head,
Oh no,
they
she's
die?
just flat out just like shooting them in the heart repeatedly.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
But
sweet.
it's a cool show so far.
I'm gonna have to watch this.
And
now.
I guess it's got 2 movies.
Really,
Yeah.
Oh,
so
Dang.
you said this came out in like 2016,
yeah.
so I'm guessing they're done with it then.
I don't know. 'Cause Crunchyroll was just like shoved it in my face one night, and I was like, oh, okay. Like,
Yes, Lord Crunchyroll, I shall watch.
I'm not interested in any of the new stuff, so let's see what this is.
I think you would
Sounds epic.
probably enjoy Hell's Paradise.
I plan on watching.
Yeah,
that.
you probably would.
You would really like that one. You might like Mashal, maybe.
I have
I
a
don't
hard time getting into some anime comedies now. Like I liked Welcome to Demon School.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of just bonkers, off the wall hyper humor, but at the same
Gotcha.
time, it's like I like it in doses.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I pick at least like one rom-com or like comedy like a season. I'm just like, this is the one I'm gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch all of them because it's just
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
much.
See, I can do something like that. I could do something like Konosuba, but it's like I have a hard time with like the more modern style of like just straight comedies because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, there's a bit of a cultural barrier here because there's certain things here I just don't understand.
That is true. And
It's like I'm sure it's hilarious to you guys, but me as just the Westerner, I'm like, I don't get it. Sorry.
yeah, I think that is one thing that I forget a lot of times is it's two cultures.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't live in Japan. I'm not Japanese, so like a
Well, it's
lot
kinda
of it
like
just
a
goes
lot
over my head.
A lot of
Yeah.
times they look at our humor like, what the heck?
I think
I look at our humor and
Yeah,
go, "What the heck?"
I
lot
do
of-
too.
I feel like a lot of Japanese comedy comes from the fact that their culture is so like reserved. Everyone's very like quiet
Yeah,
and keeps
so
to
the
themselves.
comedy
Yeah,
is very
so it's like-
spontaneous.
The funniest thing is somebody sneezing in conversation.
So yeah, the funniest
sometimes.
thing is just like someone talking and suddenly just like screaming their head off at somebody over
Yeah.
nothing because it's just like it's such an out of the blue like unexpected
Yeah.
thing. Whereas in America, it's more common to see people just like yelling across the
Hey,
parking
I'm
lot to
walking.
each other. Yeah. So
I don't know. It doesn't seem like in the West we really even have that anymore. Like if you even look at things like memes, it's like, let me just crank this audio and people will think it's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, or the Vine boom. If I ever hear Vine boom again,
The heck is a Vine boom?
you don't know what Vine.
No,
boom
and I
is?
don't think I really want to know.
The boom sound in memes.
Oh, you mean the thing that sounds like a speaker blowing out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
called the Vine
That's
boom.
what I mean. is
Yeah.
something like that with just like an image. And, oh, let's just distort it. Look how funny
The
that
most
is.
the most common meme is the Rock doing the eyebrow, and you hear the boom sound.
Yeah.
That's the Vine boom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Meh.
It's stupid because people just put it to like a totally normal conversation. They'll just put the Vine boom in, just like it's supposed to be funny. I'm like, that's not humor.
Yeah. There's got to be a setup, a joke.
Right. So many people on the internet are like, I'm going to make funny things. It's just like, you aren't
It's
funny.
like there's no joke here. I see that with a lot of times with sketches on YouTube where it's just like they seems like they have an idea, but they just don't have a joke to it. There's no like punchline. It just
Right.
kind of like goes and fizzles and then done.
Ma, there's a cat out here.
That's funny. That's,
That's funny.
situational humor.
Because it like ramps up to something. It's
Yeah.
not
At
like
the end of it, it's like, Ma, the cat's in the house now.
and then the last one where it's like where he's like under the bed and the cat like
Yeah.
runs up to the camera. Like there's actual joke of like it happening, but there's so many sketches of like an anime character when this happens or whatever, and it's like this is funny. I might send it to somebody, and then the ending is just like, oh okay, and that's the ending. And it's
Yep.
like there was no joke, there was no payoff. It just kind of like meh. I'm over it now. It sucks.
Yeah, not to get into like too much of a rant, but like the new generation of content creators, like short content creators.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of them I find funny.
Yeah.
One of them I really find funny. His name is Scumbag Dad. Have you guys seen him?
I've seen
Uh,
so much of his stuff.
The funny part is he takes all these stupid, annoying TikTok trends and just
He is
turns them on their heel and
heavy parody.
very heavy parody. But he's like parodying the people that think they're funny.
Yeah. He has videos like the TikTok thing where somebody's doing something and then it pauses and he like pops up in the front of it and is like commenting on it.
Yeah.
He comments on it and then the guy that's frozen just like he says like this is so stupid, why would they do this? And then the guy like turns around and's like what the heck is wrong with you and like beats him up.
Yeah.
Like it just has these or like the split like screen thing where there's one happening on one scene.
Yep.
There was one where he's doing a duet and then he's like singing just like this song is so stupid, who would ever write this song? And then the guy just turns to him and starts like punching him. It's like you idiot and he's like ah.
Or there's like ones
I'm
where
dying.
he's like pretending he's like reviewing a TikTok, because that's one big thing TikTokers would do. They'll review other TikTokers.
Yeah.
But he's like at a restaurant eating food and he's like, oh, this is so stupid. And then the guy that like the TikToker that he's reviewing, like it turns out they're in the same restaurant. He looks at the guy and then just like goes over and just like, what do you mean it's not funny? He's like, oh, I didn't know you're here.
Or there's random ones of just like making fun of kindness, like influencer
Those are
content or whatever,
hilarious.
where it's like, hey, this is my son's favorite flavor of chips, but I need $1 to pay for it. It's like, oh, here you go. And he's like, thanks, and walks away. He's like, hey, what are you doing? You're supposed to give me a prize or something.
Yeah,
What's
it's like-
wrong with you?
He's like, no, I just wanted $1 for the chips.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
And the dude's like, what? This is a kindness TikTok. Give me my prize.
My favorite one he did, and then we'll get off our soapbox of it.
The segway's on fire.
There's this trend where people will pretend to go up to random people. So like, hey, how much do you pay in New York for rent? And they'll be like, oh, I pay like $15,000 or whatever. It's like, well, really? Can I see your apartment? He's like, yeah, sure. And they'll just give this fake review of an apartment, obviously. And it's funny because Scumbag Dad will do that. He'll go up to a random person like, hey, how much do you pay? He's like, no, he just do that. He's like going around the apartment and he's like, oh yeah, perfect. I love this trend because that lets me kidnap people more. And he just like kidnaps the guy, throws him in a trunk.
Have you seen the Mr. Beast ones where it's like, are you subscribed to Mr. Beast? He's like, oh, yeah, I am. Okay, cool. Put this blindfold on. Oh, this is awesome. I go to meet Mr. Beast. And they bring him to a back alley and they just start all gang beating him. And he's like, that's what you get for being subscribed to Mr. Beast. And they like unsubscribe him and they're like, one less Mr. Beast follower.
Those are great.
Now we'll take over the #1 spot.
His best comedy thing, and this is like actually not parodying anything, but he has this thing where he pretends to be the scumbag dad, the stepdad, and it's POV shot. You're his child, and he's
I don't like where this is going.
Well,
No,
it's funny because like he's the scumbag dad, but he's like super scumbag. Like, he's like a war criminal. He's like a drug lord,
addict.
and he's
Yeah.
like taking his son to these different things. He's like, "Now, son, we're gonna go play a prank on this bank here." He hands him a Nerf gun, and they go hold up the bank. He's like, "That was a great." He like the kid has to shoot like one of the like security guards. He's like, "Okay, you just pranked him. It's fine."
there is
The
like
Nerf gun or a real gun?
It's a Nerf gun for TikTok reasons, but
Oh.
literally like
Yeah.
they're shooting people.
And then they're always like explaining it to the kid in like a not bad way. And it's just
Yeah.
like, oh no, I'm getting ketchup all over I'm gonna fall. He's like, he's gonna take a nap for a really long time. Let's get out of here.
There's one where like they're like getting attacked by the military, and he's like, "Now, son, hold this confetti bomb, so that way the surprise can be a surprise." He like has him run away with the bomb.
Oh, jeez.
It's yeah.
Here I just sit watching Beluga.
Beluga?
It's a Discord comedy thing.
Oh,
With
Beluga
the,
is
with the
Yeah.
cat.
he is funny, but I don't know, like getting somewhat addicted to YouTube Shorts. That was like the only good thing I found out of it was just like Scumbag Dad.
Yeah.
Still don't know how you get addicted to
pretty great.
YouTube Shorts. I get on there for like 2 seconds. And I'm like, why am I here?
I have problems of where I'll watch them so much that they start looping back around.
See, I find like a couple, and they're usually like mixed in when I'm just looking at normal YouTube videos,
Oh yeah.
like in my suggestions or whatever. And then it's like then it'll like bump over to something. I was like, what the heck is this?
I
So
got
that's my problem is I will be going through normal YouTube videos, see a short, click on it. Next thing I know is 2 hours have passed and I've watched 200 shorts and I'm like, oh
Huh.
boy.
yeah.
I must just really, really be disinterested in things.
I have really bad, like, that just keeps my attention.
Yeah.
It's,
I get that sometimes too.
I've gotten better at it.
I'm afraid of what keeps my attention.
Like, I think I've seen,
Oh no, he's going on shorts.
I'm looking,
What is our time on the podcast?
that's over, but whatever. People aren't going to watch this part of it anyways.
This is the Baka-Talk after show.
I have
I wanna
seen
sleep.
today a total of 23 shorts.
Dude.
It's only 23 minutes.
Dude.
It's better than 200.
Also, the Segway's still on fire.
Oh, shoot. Better put that out. Well, guys, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, pretty
That it?
much.
Cool. All right. Well, audience, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow us on your local neighbor-friendly podcast site, and leave a review if you'd be so kind. Besides for that, we don't require anything else. Just hope you enjoyed the show. and-
Consume our product.
Nah, you don't have to do that. Just like put it in the background, muted, You'll be fine.
On repeat.
On loop.
On repeat. We'll
Put
be
us in a
happy with that.
playlist and just like go through.
Yeah, we got playlists on YouTube channel. Just like hit that, put it on like a laptop, partially close it, and just like put it in the corner of your room.
Give us all that juicy watch time.
Yeah.
Don't ever.
Yeah.
That's all for us. Xiao meow.
See you all later.
Goodbye.